What's that you say? 14 minutes of me talking about close quarters on Battlefield 3? Alright then, let's do it. We played Battlefield 3 on Monday. I live stream at Mondays for Battlefield, Fridays for Armour. Every week we do it 11 PM GMT, 6 PM EST. Come join me, you can come and participate, you can come and get involved. And that's what we did. We joined on this random Battlefield 3 server, and a lot of the guys from the stream got involved. We had some excellent games, and this was one of my clan members that I was swearing at the beginning of the round for shooting at me in the back as we spawned LU1, you know who you are. He was like, no, I didn't mean to do it. It's like, yeah. So, close quarter night, how did it go down? It was awesome. I had so much fun this night. It was absolutely brilliant. We played on most of the maps apart from Scrap Metal because it wasn't on the map rotation. There's very limited server choices on Battlefield 3 basically. And you can see me here replying to Danny. We're talking about team balance, and I ended up getting killed whilst typing because I'm slightly AFK. That was good fun as well. But basically, yeah, balancing the teams was difficult because it's not my server. So in order to keep our teams balanced, we had to kind of just rely on people's good intentions. Overall, it worked out pretty good. Most of the games we had, I thought worked out really well. They were really hard fought, really tense, really close, and it was just some really good, enjoyable gameplay, you know. But getting back on these maps was fantastic. It was so good to just really feel these maps again and feel the kind of gameplay and the action that we had with Battlefield 3. And let me tell you as well, this game felt so good. Loving those instant revives as well, not having to charge the paddles. It's funny, these little things that you forget, right? And it was just so satisfying to be like, res, bam, don't have to charge up, just instant res. It was such a good thing. The game itself as well, lightning. It felt so good, so on point, so accurate, so straight on target, you know, just like ADSing all over the place. It just felt fantastic. Loved the hell out of this game. And it just, you know, I think, like I discussed with some other producers the other day, it's like with Battlefield 3 and even Bad Company a bit as well, you tend to get this feeling like when you aim at a target and you know you're going to hit it. You know, you've got that feeling. The bullets are on target. You know where they're going. You don't have any kind of weird lag or anything like this. It's just right on point. I mean, that right there was a great one. You spin 180, bam, straight onto another target, and the bullets are right down on it. Some of the recoil was hilarious as well. This M416 right here had like 0 recoil. It's interesting how, you know, I remember a lot of people talking and saying like, oh yeah, and Battlefield 3 you got like much more recoil compensation, and how it's very different to some of the, you know, Battlefield 4 and Hardline and so on. To be honest, like there were multiple guns, like, because we changed it up a lot of guns through the evening, tried the F2000 as well. But you know, there was quite a few weapons which really just had like 0 recoil. It was amazing. This 416 was a good example of that. Even changing it up to some of the others, you know, I say I went through quite a few of the assault rifles just playing it through, and it was amazing how you remember things different. You always do, you know, you remember things a little bit different. When I actually got into playing it, I was just kind of like, huh, okay, this is like a lot easier than I remembered. You know, it wasn't quite as tricky as I'd sort of imagined it was going to be. I remember the skill level being like much higher on Battlefield 3, but actually, yeah, it worked out pretty good. The games were just awesome as well. The teams that we had were really, you know, fast and furious. And look at this, you can see like everybody's charging for the objective. And this is what you want to see in Battlefield. You know, this is the kind of gameplay you want. You want to have to fight for those objectives. You don't want to just have no opportunity to win, or like too many opportunities. Oh, god damn it, the one person. I think I only got knifed one time. I think it was this guy right here, Jamie. I think it was the only person that knifed me. I don't think I remember getting knifed any other time than that exact moment right there. But yeah, it was great to have the really intense, and you know, I loved these maps. I loved these close quarter maps. It was one of the best DLCs they ever did. It was just so intense and so fast paced. You know, so many moments where you kind of jump over a railing, spin around 180, drop a guy, push straight back onto the objective. It just really good. Really good. Oh, I knew, yeah. I remembered that moment. I sort of started going through under the door and I was like, this feels like a mistake. And then bam, I was dead. I was like, oh no, terrible. But yeah, so we're going to keep doing different events. I've been trying to change it up a little bit with the streams, because just playing like Battlefield 4, you know, standard game modes and stuff isn't that interesting. Although we haven't done a Battlefield 4 night for a while, so I think this next week coming, actually I won't be here next week, but the next one that we do for Battlefield Night will probably be on my server on Battlefield 4, because we haven't had those for a while. Not quite sure what I want to do for it yet, so I'll try and figure that one out. But yeah, these have been great. You know, it's been really good to kind of get on and play with some subscribers or people that watch the streams anyway, and it's been very entertaining. I've been really pleased with how the streams have been doing for me generally. Most of the time with the streams, when we've been doing like this night, the Battlefield night, or the Armor night, I'm generally streaming getting like 70 to 100 viewers for the whole time I stream, which is often about 4 hours, 5 hours sometimes, usually about 4 hours or so. And yeah, the interaction and the amount of people watching has been really fantastic, so that's been very appreciated, and it's great to see so many of you guys coming and participating. Any of you that watched the Battlefield 3 night, I would love to hear from you guys, like kind of what you thought about it, how you thought the maps were going down and stuff, what you enjoyed. So obviously the other maps we were playing on was like Zebra, and Zebra of course is just like a really intense sort of battle, just so much destruction on that map. But Donya, actually, Donya, this one that we're playing right here, is one of my favorites. I really like this map. I love the flow of this map. I like the levels on this map, the fact that you have like the underground corridors, the top section, the construction area. I love this map. It just plays really fantastic. It has great kind of fluid motion. But you know, that's the other thing about all these close quarter maps. They just all played out really good. You know, that little situation I had right there in those rooms is a great example of it. You know, you just kind of, you get that feel, and you just go like point to point to point to point to point, taking targets out. In fact, actually, the last round we played on Close Quarters was a good example of this. There was this guy, and at the time I was really annoyed about it, because I was just like, God damn it, like, I couldn't, you can see, like, right here, I'm doing alright, but, like, the last round, I couldn't move. This guy was on me, I forget his name now, but basically, he was just at the M5K, that's what he was running, and he was just dropping me. Every time I turned a corner, down. Every time, down. I was just like, freaking hell. Like, I just couldn't stand. It was so irritating, right? But that's how these games kind of work. That's how Close Quarters kind of works. You will get moments where you're just in the flow, and it's such a good feeling, and that's what you get with Close Quarters, because you have that sort of tighter enclosed space, and you just find yourself moving and turn and shoot and turn and shoot, move, and you just kind of get this kind of movement, this flow happening, and it feels very natural, it feels very intuitive. You know, you're almost not really even overthinking what it is that you're doing, it just kind of happens. And that's something that I only really found with these Close Quarter maps. You know, I didn't find that in some of the bigger maps, because you often, there's too much going on, or you get distracted, or you have to move too far. In Close Quarters it's great because everything is kind of right on where it needs to be, and so you kind of just move point to point to point to point to point, and that's such a great feeling. You know, love that feeling in this game mode. And it's something you just don't capture anywhere else. It's like this kind of right here, you know, we just clear this base, bam, look, I'm already down in the tunnels, you know, so fast, jump, bam, down, here, preparing to like cover this base, and there we go, look, here, come around the corner, drop it. You know, that's the kind of movement, that's the kind of action that you get. You just don't get it from anything else. I really wish that they have this. And you know, like, let's think ahead. Potentially, maybe Hardline will recapture some of this feeling. You know, I've not been ashamed of sort of saying, like, I'm well 50-50 on Hardline. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be. You know, I'm still on the line. But, you know, I've been talking about it with some other people, and it's you know, I think the base game of Hardline is 100% worth having. But then people need to make their own decisions about kind of, you know, anything after that, right? The base gameplay of Hardline, I think, would definitely be worth having, just from an infantry point of view. You know, if I can recapture in Hardline some of this feeling of gameplay, and there are some other maps that you guys haven't seen or been able to play yet in Hardline, like the kind of grow house one, the sort of the drug factory map, and this is the kind of gameplay that you may find you get from it. So I really hope that's the case, because going back to this and revisiting it just made us appreciate how well these maps were designed, how well Battlefield 3 plays at the stage that it's at right now anyway. It's important to note that, I think, because a lot of the time people kind of look back, and when they look back, they look at how the game is at that time when they've just played, right? But you got to remember, like, Battlefield 3 went through a massive amount of changes. Anybody remember those massive long, like, you know, update logs where they would change like 50 different things in a patch? You know, that was a massive amount of things to change in Battlefield 3. So the whole thing changed hugely from start to finish. And, you know, going through Battlefield 4, again, it's seen a lot of transitions, a lot of changes. Battlefield 4 is starting to get to a point now where it's a lot better than it was, like a lot better. So, you know, moving into Hardline, look at this right here. I hate these kind of big group plays. You can never seem to drop those targets. yeah, so going into Hardline, again, it's going to be interesting to see whether they have that kind of stability and that strength coming out of the gate. And if we can just get some of this gameplay, I will feel very, very happy indeed. There are some maps in Hardline which are going to be focused around this kind of close quarter environment gameplay. And of course, they will be the first maps. I'm absolutely sure that there will be further DLC map sections as well and things like this. And again, which area they focus on. There's I feel like a much stronger likelihood that if we see some map DLCs for Hardline, there's going to be definitely some that are focused around this close quarter centric infantry gameplay, which will be positive because this is the really kind of furious, really intense gameplay that people want to see, and that, you know, you can get these kind of gameplay from. Just when we were talking, when we were playing this night on the TeamSpeak, you know, it's a different kind of interaction, it's a different kind of communication than you would get on a normal Battlefield game, because in close quarters it's all very direct and responsive and immediate, you know. And that's just something that you don't necessarily always get in other Battlefield games, because sometimes people are too far away or there's too much happening, you know. But with close quarters, it's very much right there and right in the moment. You can say, dude, 2 guys on your back, move to C, get down on B, they're pushing up to A right now, get on that. There's 2 guys just broken in here, they're right down behind me, they're moving to the east side, you know, they're moving to the Charlie side, whatever. You know, it's all very kind of immediacy, and you know, that's what I really enjoy with domination on Battlefield 4. A lot of the domination maps in Battlefield 4, that's the kind of feeling, the kind of style gameplay that you get. So I really want to see that continue in Hardline. You know, this is the kind of gameplay that I personally really want to see in Hardline. And yet again, you know, when it comes, we talk about weapon choices in Hardline. With weapon choices in Hardline, these are the kind of situations where your weapon choice will make a big difference. You know, you're going from sort of, okay, do you want to choose a weapon which is going to perform very well in close quarters? Do you want something that's going to handle close and medium range? How does your own specific personal gameplay style affect that? There's a lot of considerations, a lot of factors at work there as to how well you're going to perform and how much you're going to enjoy that situation. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, and it was great to kind of come back and look back at this, and that's the main thing that we're doing here, is it's kind of, you know, you're remembering how things were and sort of comparing, you know, you're sort of stacking it up and thinking, okay, what do we need to think about going into the next title. So, you know, this was a great game night and it was fantastic. Everyone had a really fantastic time, and I want to thank everybody who came and participated. It was great to have some really good players on board, and it was also great to see that people were happy to kind of follow what I had requested people do, which was to fight really hard for the objectives, not dick around too much, and to, you know, change teams as necessary, because some people were happy to do that. In fact, at one point, this server actually had a rule for no C4, which was kind of annoying, and I forgot about it, and I tried to use it on someone at one point, and it booted me out of the game. I couldn't get back on because there was obviously a server queue, because we were streaming loads of people trying to get online, and there was like several people left so that I could get back on the server. So I want to say huge appreciation to those guys. I don't know who they were, but if you guys hadn't left, I wouldn't have been able to get back on. It would have killed the stream. So massive thanks to you guys who did that. So guys, if you want to participate with me on the next Battlefield stream, come and follow me in Twitch. The link is down below. Okay, come and join all of my streams. As I say, most of the time when I stream, it's going to be Mondays and Fridays, 11 PM GMT. That's 6 PM EST. If you want to catch any of my other streams as well, I usually start streaming around about midnight. So it's midnight GMT, around 7 PM EST. Usually around this time is when I start to stream. Okay. The Battlefield nights are usually open to the public. They will either be on my server or on wherever I have chosen to be, and the armor stuff tends to not be, but you can still watch and participate. Anybody that knows the deal there will come and get on board anyway. But this is our little look at the Battlefield 3 close quarters, and I think there's a lot of interesting elements here that you can keep in mind when we're thinking about Hardline, we're thinking about what's coming up, and hopefully going to see some really awesome gameplay. Last bit right here, I really should have thrown a bloody grenade. But you have hindsight. As soon as I came into that situation at the end, I was like, damn it, I should have thrown a grenade. You got so twitchy, you come up right at the end, ADS, and I was like, should have gone for that grenade. Anyway, you live and learn, right? Thanks for watching, guys. More gameplay coming up. Let me know what you want to see next time on the next Battlefield gameplay. Back to Battlefield 4, Bad Company, Battlefield 3, more Vietnam. You tell me. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.